Oh, that's probably where it started. Going into middle school, I knew that I was a lot different than people. I'm just a weirdo. I still am, but like
I don't think you're a weirdo.
like a good weird though. Not like just a good weird. Just what I like. So 6th grade came. It was a new beginning because it's middle school. My mom had just got married to Brock. My dad had just got married to my stepmom. With literally in a 5-month time span. My mom got married in June and they got married in September.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing.
That was a good thing. Okay. A new adjustment. I mean, my mom and dad lived literally 2 seconds apart from each other because they both lived in Pine Hill.
Yeah.
So in 6th grade, I was like kind of picked on. I mean, people would say things to me. I would like go to the guidance counselor and cry about it because I was in 6th grade.
Now, can you say like what those things were?
I honestly don't remember in 6th grade.
You just remember being
or
hurt.
In 7th grade. I just remember mostly what happened in end of 7th grade, 8th grade.
Okay.
So 7th grade, I was friends with this girl, and she was actually from the friend group of my 5th grade.
Okay.
She lived close to me, and we would hang out all the time. And I remember that she was also like feeling very down on herself, but she would take it out on me. So I got that part of it, and that's probably where I started feeling the worst because she was supposed to be my friend and she was treating me like crap. And you know, she was choosing like boys over me, and there was this one time where she had a crush on this boy who lived down the street, and he had come over and we were going to jump on the trampoline. And she told me to go wait outside on the front of the step, and like she would come back and get me. I waited there for like 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Why?
I don't even know.
Do you feel that your self-confidence, like it took a toll because you kind of just wanted to be accepted? So instead of saying like, this is ridiculous that I'm sitting out here for 45 minutes, that you waited just because you were like, she's the friend that I have.
Yeah, most definitely. So 8th grade came. I wasn't friends with any of those people anymore. And this girl came to 8th grade and changed my entire life. Oh, that's my alarm.
That's okay.
So I became friends with her. She was my best friend instantly. I would kind of describe it as like a whirlwind, you know, like a whirlwind romance where they like meet and it's like immediate. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And we, you know, we're still kind of friends. We still talk and we've talked about it. And I think that we connected really quickly because of how depressed and how much we hated ourselves. And we kind of bonded over that. And she was like the girl that would fight for you, literally, like throw a fist.
Yeah. Amen.
And
That's great.
Anytime anything was said about me, she would come back. She would go back at them. She also taught me how to do that. Not throw fists, because I'm not a fighting person. I've never been. If they said something mean to me, we would call it the comeback. Yeah. And I would say something, which is it's not right. But going from letting people walk all over me to having the confidence to say something like that really changed.
Yeah.
So 8th grade is when I started self-harming and having suicidal thoughts. Actually, no. I started self-harming in 7th grade. 8th grade was the first time that I had actually thought about not wanting to be here anymore. And, you know, I hated it. You know, I was 13 with this best friend, but I was like, if she was busy, I would sit in my room by myself playing with horses because I was the horse girl, and that's okay with me.
That's okay. I
That's
love
okay with
horses
me.
too, growing up.
Yeah.
My Little Pony.
Yeah, I had My Little Pony, all of them.
Oh, yes.
So that was 8th grade. So when I graduated from 8th grade, I was going to high school. It was shocking, scary. Didn't know what was going to happen. Then I found out 2 weeks before school started that she was leaving. She was moving. That hit really hard. And I was like, we are supposed to go through high school together. But I had realized that it was not her choice. She's 14. She doesn't have, it's her mom. So
just ignore that. It's my GoPro dying.
So, high school started. I was like, you know what? New beginnings. That's what everybody says. So
And that was 8th grade?
This is our
it's going into freshman year.
Okay. I was going to say 8 is
I want to
new
add,
beginnings.
though, throughout this time, she had been bullied by the same people from 5th grade to present. So as she's telling her story from 9th grade, she was bullied by the same, and not just girls, boys included. One boy in, I believe it was 5th or 6th grade, actually cut a chunk of her hair
Oh, 7th
off.
grade. It was 7th grade computer class.
7th grade computer
Spanish class.
Oh,
Spanish
Spanish,
class.
yes. So, like, it was more than just feeling left out, is that she was every day going to school and being provoked and kind of every second she didn't have a chance to breathe. And the issue, as what I see as a parent, is that with smartphones and technology and social media, is that you can't escape a bad day at school. When I was in 8th grade or when I was in high school, I didn't have the nicest girls that were kind to me, and it was hard. But I got to go home and decompress. And if they called me, they would call my house phone or my personal house phone. Either way. And if I didn't want to have a conversation, I didn't need to. And I didn't know who was calling me. And so if I didn't want to answer my phone, I didn't. And so Tori was provoked constantly. She was harassed on Twitter. She was harassed in voicemails. These people gave out her phone number to other people. I changed her phone number so many times that it cost me $40 each time. I did it so many times. I kept saying to them, I don't care how much this costs. I just need a different number. And no matter what we did, the girls that would pretend to be her friend would end up getting her phone number again and starting this whole vicious circle to where she was getting these terrible voicemails, terrible text messages from numbers that she didn't even know.
I actually forgot
and
about
that's
that.
during this time leading up to her freshman year. She was still doing all of this, and you know, we're on the side of fighting and trying to show her that she matters, and that, you know, we can only do so much for her because this is her every day. You know, we're not with her at school and we don't have her cell phone, and I can block as much as I can try to block, but social media and cell phones make it incredibly difficult to protect yourself from bullying. So that's where we're at this point. I wanted to say that because I think we forget that we've lived in a time prior to social media, and that it just really, you can't control it. You really can't hide from anything.
I think the only advantage that I had being in that time was social media had just started. So it wasn't as it is now, where literally everybody is on social media. It was like the cool kids were on social media. And I'd actually forgot about it because I've been through a lot of therapy that I've had to say it 6,000 times that my timeline's messed up, whatever. Mm-hmm. But so that's an advantage I had, was that it wasn't really what it is today.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And I'm so thankful that we didn't live, Julie and I, in a time of social media. Like, we didn't have cell phones. We had AOL. AOL started up.
Let's bring that back.
Was that the little yellow man?
Yeah.
I don't even remember the...
Yeah, just a little stick figure like this.
Mm-hmm. And he would run as the loading screen.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was our day. And I might have mentioned this on the show before, but I'm so glad that social media wasn't present at my graduation, because I fell down the flight of steps at the Tweeter Center, which is now I don't know what it is now. Do you know what the Camden Waterfront is called?
All they do is change that name. It's just...
Is it the Croc Center?
Tomorrow.
It could be. It's the Croc Center. We should talk about Crocs a little bit later on.
Oh, I have a pair.
Yeah, we're going to...
Your mom was telling me. We're sharing our... Anyway. Yeah, so that would have been super humiliating for me, and I'm so glad that social media wasn't around during
I fell
that time
during an award
at all.
show, so it's
did
okay.
you? Was it on... it was not.
Thank Jesus it was not.
Oh, very cool. So that was like seriously, because that could haunt you forever. Like,
I thought it was hilarious.
She went down. She was up and walking, and then you could not see her at all. And we were all like, "What?" And she got back up. I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So high school started. I was without my best friend. So it was like first, second week of school. I was good. You know, everything was fine. And I had gym class, and one of the boys, he actually was the one who cut my hair. I'm glad that we have things that he's done, so I don't have to use names because I feel like that's terrible. Mm-hmm. So, he wasn't in my gym class, but a bunch of his friends were, and I remember that somebody had come up to me asking where he was or who he was. So I was trying to explain him. And I was like, oh, you know, he's like this. And he has like a longer neck because he's tall. Like, not being malicious. Like, I was just describing him. And his friend had overheard it and thought that I was making fun of him. And I don't know why, because like everybody called him a name, and it was his first name, then proceeding with long neck. Like, that was his nickname. He started that, though, and I think it was like a self-defense mechanism. But I was like, why am I getting in trouble? In quotations for that. So his friend came up to me and was like, why are you talking about my boy like that? Like, that's messed up. And I was like, I'm sorry, I was just like explaining him. And then later that week, I had heard people saying that I was gay and had STDs. I was like, that doesn't make sense, but go for it. And he was one of the guy who started the rumor was his friend, and he had been harassing me, calling me on my phone. And then
I just want to say that the voicemails that were left for her were, how much do you charge an hour? From numbers that she didn't have. And I think at that time it wasn't as easy for us to be like, this phone number belongs to this person. Again, this is before like the catfish day and age of being able to search everything and anything. Right. And so this is why I would continue to have her phone number changed. But like, that's the type of phone calls that she was receiving after this incident.
Okay.
So that had started, and, you know, obviously I'd been called a lot of names that are, you know, not nice, and you don't call people that. So I had gone down to the guidance counselor's office, and I guess I had said something like, hey, I'm being mistreated, and no one really did anything because I didn't really say how I was feeling. I was just like, listen, this happened at school. I just wanted to let you guys know. I didn't really say it hurt me. It made me sad. So then a couple days later, this is all in like the first 3 weeks of school, the guy that I described sat behind me in algebra class, and I was sitting down, and this other guy, one of his friends, had come up, and I don't know why. I don't know. He decided to take his elbow and slam it on my temple. And the guy that I described didn't say anything, and I just looked at him, and he just looked at me. And I was like, cool. And the teacher didn't see anything, which later it really hurt her that she couldn't do anything. She came up and apologized to me.
Sure.
So then I reported that to the school, and then I had to say, I don't want to live anymore. And they said, you have to go home.
So when she came home that day, I actually got a call from a policeman at her school that said that she had said these things and that I needed to come get her. And when I went to pick her up, we came home and we called the emergency hotline where the crisis counselors come out, and they were wonderful, and they came out within the hour. We basically called anyone and everyone that we that we knew would rally like in prayer and also to help with us. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had a baby like that was under a year old, and we obviously still had Lily, who we wanted to avoid knowing what was going on. So we kind of were trying to keep her in a